do on a Tuesday night live here on the My PVT Network, hashtag PVT. We have Rally's headlines. All right.
Hey guys, thank you.
All right.
So my headline for today is Vanessa Guillen, her remains found in shallow grave by Leon River. So remains have been found in a shallow grave by the Leon River in Texas in connection with the disappearance of missing Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen, a source has told Crime Online. So as previously reported, 20-year-old Guillen disappeared on April 22nd, and she was last seen at around 1 p.m. at the parking lot there in Fort Hood, Texas. She left behind her keys, her barracks room key, identification card, and wallet in the arms room where she was working. She also was called in, on her day off, but it's unclear who called her in and why. So Guillen's mother, she had previously told Crime Online that a sergeant at the base had been sexually harassing her daughter. So Guillen said it was stalking and verbal harassment.
That's the mom, right? The mom saying this.
Right. And so he would look at her some type of way that would make any woman feel uncomfortable. So Gloria Guillen, who speaks Spanish, said through her daughter, Mayra Guillen, who translated on her behalf.
That's pretty interesting because, she was all over Facebook. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I saw, man. And my heart goes out to the family and just her. She was so brave, first of all, for coming out when she first did, showing that bravery, because a lot of that doesn't get reported in the military. Mm-hmm. And it's just commend her for her bravery, and just my heart just goes out to the family, dude, because como que they wanted to wash their hands away from it and just let it go. But
yeah,
her mom, like she should have, she was like, no, I'm going to kick and scream till, my daughter, till I find out what happens to my daughter. So.
And her mom was also demanding that they release surveillance footage because she says she's there and there's cameras at every corner, at every little area. So she's demanding that they release those surveillance camera angles and all of that. So,
well, I'm sure they don't like to prematurely release stuff,
right?
Because then it's
an investigation.
It might mess up the investigation of whoever might have done this. But I'm sure they'll find out who called her to come into work wherever she was working, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she's on the base, she can just also work outside the base, or is it a job on the base?
It's within the base.
Okay.
Yeah. The report did say that she was working in the base.
Uh-huh.
Like your actual job.
Yeah.
Like when you're on base, it's you have an actual job that it's called the shop.
When you were in the Marines, were there women and men in the same doing the thing? How long ago were you in the Marines, Mario?
1998 to 2002.
Mm-hmm. And
so
they were
over 20 years.
Yeah. Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yes. Wow.
I would have retired 2018.
Yeah.
Wow. 22 years ago I entered.
It's interesting how time flies like that,
Yeah.
But man, you were on social media. You were seeing her picture. Beautiful girl. She was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
She looked beautiful in uniform and out of uniform. And I hope they find out who did it.
It has. It's looking like it's whoever was harassing her, and she reported it. I think they, had some backlash. Can't say without the investigation, but it's. Well, it's awful. It happens a lot in the military, and
what happens a lot in the military?
It's harassment and just ugly stuff like that, and it never gets reported by both female and male, military, because when you're in the military, your superiors are I don't want to say brainwashed, but you're just instilled this sort of like que no les puedes decir nada. Like I've seen so many.
They don't want to see weakness. Is that what it is?
They don't want to. Let's say one of your superiors is being an asshole. You no le puedes faltar el respeto like you can at another job. Like, hey, dude, bájale tus pinches pedos.
Yeah, you can't do that
in the military. No. So a lot of that stuff.
And what happens if you do? Do you get?
You get NJP'd. You get disrespect to an NCO, disrespect to a staff NCO, disrespect to an officer, just for just for saying like, hey, dude, stop your shit.
Yeah. For example, like the sergeant on Full Metal Jacket, how he was like just on Pyle's back, which, by the way, it's his birthday today, that guy.
Oh, Lee Emery?
No, his name is D'Onofrio.
Oh, the Private Pyle.
Pyle from the movie. It's his birthday today.
Oh.
So for example, if the sergeant is there and he's like that, and I mean, he was really writing this guy in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then Pyle never did anything. He held it in and held it in until he lost it, and he just shot himself and shot his sergeant. If you would have talked back to the sergeant, he would have been sent to JP.
See,
What
yeah.
is?
Yeah, or that's even worse because that's boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually preparing you to take all this all this not abuse, well, verbal abuse, and just to think one way, and your superiors are the end all.
Why do you think it is that way? Is it so when they're in under the duress and the stress of combat, they stick to the orders that they're given? Sort of like mechanically, robotically.
To stay with the order, and they say every little thing in the Marine Corps. It pertains to combat. Everything, like they would get pissed off if we weren't holding our trays right, and they would say, because they would say something algo de combat. Every little thing has to do with combat.
Yeah.